Hello and welcome to assignment 28, our line following project, part 2. We are going to start by opening Vex V5, and just as a reminder, you can always find that link right here where it says open Vex V5 to program your robot. I have mine open here, but I want everyone to know that. Okay, I think I have to here. We are going to check out our new assignment 28, the line following project part 2. And let's check ahead. Let's just look at what is involved. Let's open our assignment document. So we see, once again, you may recall this from assignment 27, we see the chart of how our different sensors are wired. Just for your reference, you're going to see port B is the left, port C is the center, and port D is the right-hand line follower. And we've given them these names in the device list. If you're using the starter code, there's line tracker left, line tracker center, line tracker right. And then here is the starter code, which we were looking at in the last project. Your task in assignment 28 is if the right sensor sees the line or detects the line because it's over the line, the robot should rotate to the right while the right sensor detects the line. Notice these keywords. We have a while and we have an if. They're here in, this is basically pseudocode. They're here in our pseudocode, and they happen to be words you see in blocks, don't they? So, if the right sensor sees the line, robot rotates right while the right sensor detects the line. If the left sensor sees the line, robot rotates left while the line sensor detects the line. And we want to be able to do both in the same program. So let's give that a try. In Vex V5, you may be doing what I'm doing and starting from your last project. This is what the last project looked like. I am just going to remove my assignment 27 code and kind of let it sit here on the right in case I need it later. Hint, hint. You might want to use it in assignment 29, so that's why I'm saying just keep it around. So we're thinking about if our robot sees, if the right hand sensor sees the line. I'm just going to try to open my, okay. If the right hand sensor sees the line, then we're going to, here, rotate to the right. If the left-hand sensor sees the line, we're going to rotate to the left. So I hear a couple of ifs in there, which makes me think maybe we need something like if and else if, right? Let's give that a try. So if I'm taking out my less than block. If our right line sensor, we said we'll start with the right. If our right line sensor sees the line, that means that we have to adjust our value, don't we? Then we want the robot to veer to the right while it sees that line. So it sounds like we need a while loop, don't we? And I think we can probably just duplicate this. So while we're seeing that line, we want to figure out how to turn to the right a little bit. My suggestion is keep these values kind of small. We're going to turn to the right a very small amount. How about something like 3 degrees? And just to get ourselves proceeding through the turn. Let's drive forward a small amount. You can play with these numbers. I'm going to start with 5 millimeters. So you're basically saying if your robot is over that black line, we're just going to turn very slowly by small increments because we want the robot to really take notice if it is no longer over that black line, right? It should stop turning. So there's what we do when our right hand sensor is over the black line. I do want you to play with all of these values. I'm kind of giving you a structure here for you to play with. So our assignment also says if the left sensor sees the line. Let me make this bigger. If the left sensor sees the line, we need to rotate to the left. So let's do that. Oh, it has that nice keyword too. Rotates left while the sensor detects the line. So this sounds a lot like what we're already doing. What if we duplicate our condition here and just change it to the left sensor? We could bring in a similar while loop. And again, we're going to want to change that to the left sensor. And instead of turning right, we would turn left. And you can see, how does that work? We'll probably test it out, but before we do, we want to see what happens if neither of these things are true. I'm going to suggest for now we stop driving. And we'll see how that works. So if the line sensor, the right-hand line tracker is over the black line, and again, please check these values, then we're going to turn right a small amount and go forward a small amount. And just imagine this is probably going to be repeating. So you'll probably keep turning right and driving forward by these small amounts repeatedly until it kind of adds up to a swerve and gets you back over the center of that line. So same thing, if we're veering off to our left sensor is over the line, that means we want to veer to the left a little bit and get the center of the robot back over the line. So let's give this code a try. If you find you need to, by the way, again, you might want to add in a wait. We talked about this in our last project. So if you find things are not responding the way you expect, you could always try mixing in a wait and kind of slow down the robot's brain so that it's working at the pace of the motors. Anyway, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and connect our brain, download the code, and start running. Good luck with the project.